Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sino Junior Report Program. My name is Mabel C. Thank you very much for attending my webinar. Today, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, inspiration. How do you get inspired? What did you do to be inspired? What you can expect today to hear? We will talk a little bit about motivation. Motivation is very, very much related to inspiration. And then we will talk about inspiration. How do we get inspired? And a lot of people last time joining my webinar also asked me about writer's block. So we will talk about that. And then lastly, the importance of having a writer's routine. Motivation is something that is behind why we do something. And it's our reward system. What is the thing that motivates us to do something, to say something, to feel in a certain way? And a lot of people who have actually heard about motivation already know that there are two kinds of motivations, extrinsic and also intrinsic. And extrinsic is anything that is external. It's anything that you do because you want to fulfill a certain kind of external force. It could be a person. The simplest example would be, like you take a course, you take a certain kind of career path because your parents want you to do so. Intrinsic motivation, on the other hand, is anything that has to do with your internal needs and also internal feelings. And so it's about what you are interested to do. For example, you take up a hobby. It's not because you want to be a competitor or you want to actually win a competition. You take up sports because you are interested in that sport and it makes you feel good. So all those factors are actually internal, and the factors are something that has something to do with your interest, your inner motivation, and also about personal growth. So anybody who is successful or who has actually lived, a number of years being very successful in the field would tell you the same thing. They can get going and they're interested to move on and get going and do something in a sustainable way because of intrinsic motivation. Because they find what they want to do instead of what they have to do. Inspiration is something that is very subjective, but at the same time, it's also something that is liberating. When you feel inspired, it's a very special kind of feeling. We want to talk about actually the people who are inspired. Who are they? And I think this article by Harvard Business Review actually has a very interesting point. They don't talk about people going out to get inspiration, but they talk about people who are inspired and what are these people like. And then these are the few points that I summarized from the article. They are the people who are open to new experiences. They are the people who are intrinsically motivated. They are people who are psychologically strong. They believe in their ability. They have higher self-esteem. They are also optimistic people. And they are also people who are prepared. We always have the same opportunities come to people who are prepared. I think this is also applicable to this situation. People who are prepared to be inspired are people who are more inspired or regularly inspired by people who are not. What do you do when you cannot write or when you don't want to write? The three most common reasons are fear, professionalism, and also distraction. When you can't write or when you can't do something, there's always this element of, like you doubting yourself, am I good enough? And the second reason is that, there's an element of being a perfectionist, this is also one of my problems. You want to be showing your best work immediately. Nobody can actually finish the first draft and then publish it. There is this element of, you need to go through different drafts. And it's a process. It's also a process that is appreciated. Because in the process of looking at your writing, in the process of getting feedback from people, you become better writers. Writer's routine is very important in a way that every writer, successful ones, especially successful ones, will tell you that they have a routine. And here, I'm going to just give two examples of two of the best writers, I think, in today's modern world. One of them is, of course, the famous Haruki Murakami, and he's so versatile that he writes in a way that is very creative, and you cannot imagine that he could talk about running, and then from running, he talked about writing. It's just very fascinating. When you write, you sit still, you physically still. When you're sleeping, you don't do other things when you're sleeping. And then you're also willing to just close the door, shut people from the outside or anything from the outside, and you want to concentrate on your writing. And having a habit is also important, that you do it at the same time every day. And so I think, like both of these writers have a very interesting point, which is a very good reminder, and also for us, if we are inspired to be a writer, that you have to be doing something repetitively, you have to make it a habit, and then you have to have a ritual that you follow every day, and then you become a writer.